My name is Frederick Bouckaert. I'm based in Canberra. I work there with the Murray-Darling Basin Authority for the last 10 years or so. I've built most of my career in aquatic ecology, looking at river health, and more specifically in the Murray-Darling Basin Authority, I was working on a program called the Sustainable Rivers Audit, which is now being transformed into ecological monitoring and evaluation, with the specific aim of looking at the impacts of the basin plan that we are now going to implement after it's been approved in Parliament. My project was a desktop study where I actually looked at the concept of ecosystem services and the way it was defined in the Millennium Ecosystem Assessment, and how that's been applied and translated in the context of China and the Yellow River Basin in particular, and that compared that to how it was applied in Australia and in the Murray-Darling Basin. So I did a comparative analysis between the two, and also then proposed a framework which would integrate ecosystem services into a broader restoration and conservation framework for rivers. That framework then, I provided examples how that can be applied in those two river basins, and I also did a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats analysis to evaluate the framework. The major findings could be summarised in three key recommendations. The first is that ecosystem services should really be linked very explicitly to restoration and conservation frameworks in order to basically add value to just stock taking of our ecological capital and do something meaningful with it. The second recommendation is that my proposed framework provides one mechanism in which this can be done, and it should probably be explored further whether it's a worthwhile mechanism to use to integrate ecosystem services in river restoration. And the third recommendation is actually based on the fact that there has been quite a bit of knowledge exchange in the last 5 years between China and Australia, and that this dialogue should continue because there's a lot of things we can learn from each other. The highlight for me definitely was attending the 5th International Yellow River Forum in Zhengzhou in China in September last year. It allowed me to get a very broad understanding of water resource management problems and challenges that China is faced with today, and also allowed me to develop an appreciation of the way the country is attempting to tackle these enormous water problems that they have.